Well, hello, everyone. It's Sunday, June the 22nd, 2025. I'm Doug. It's time once again to play some Wordle. Jan McInnes, 8523, writes in, "Hey, Doug, I love watching your show first thing every morning after doing my own Wordle. Thank you very much. You are asking for June starting word suggestions, and I immediately thought about June bugs. How about starting with the word buggy?" Very good, Jan. I like that. Buggy. It's an interesting starting word here. Maybe it's a little challenging, but it's certainly fun. It's definitely appropriate for June. So you know what? I think we're going to give that a go. Let's start off today with the word buggy. And all right, I'll take it. Anytime we light anything up, I'm happy. We got a U. It's out of position. So I'll say that's a pretty nice start for us today. Okay, so how do I want to proceed here? Okay, I'm going to take that U. I'll bet you everybody can guess what I want to do with the U. Let's go ahead and put it, let's sneak it over one spot. And I guess the past tense of sneak it over would be snuck. That's right. Let's take four really good consonants and wrap around that letter U in the middle. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of green to appear. You never know. I mean, we could get really lucky here. It's Sunday, so I just like to think that we all do the catchphrase together if we get lucky. Is the answer to today's puzzle the word snuck? No, it's not. And no, unfortunately, that letter U is not, in fact, in the middle. So we continue on, and we also ruled out four pretty good consonants, too. So that's kind of an interesting development as well. So I guess the next place I'm going to visualize that U is in the fourth spot, but that leaves us with plenty to consider. I immediately thought like minus, obviously the S at the end. We've looked at it, so that's not going to work. I wonder if, you know what? Okay, so let me explain. I had a whole lot of thoughts there in that like 2 seconds that I was silent. So the first thing I'm thinking is a vowel in the second and the fourth. And that's where I was thinking about that letter I. But then I thought to myself, what about the O with the U? Would anything make sense there? And in fact, there is a couple of examples here. Clout is what I was thinking. C-L-N-T. Actually, no, take that back. No, the C in snuck, we've evaluated it. How about we could actually find a way to get another vowel in there, though? What about if we go with allowed, A-L-O-U-D? We can bring A, L, O, and D to the party, have 3 of the 5 classic vowels represented in our analysis. And I would actually be kind of surprised if that U does not light up in green. So I feel like this might get us a good bit further along in our puzzle. You never know. Could be it. Let's find out. Is the answer to today's puzzle the word allowed? No, it's not. And okay, all right. Good news. Let's go with the good news. We know that the U is now in the 4th position. I am almost 100% certain it's going to be the only U in the puzzle. We've all also taken out the A and the O from consideration. So it is most likely, almost entirely certain that there's going to be an E and or an I in here. I think we might go back to my original thought about an I in the 2nd position here. So let's see, what might that look like, right? So virus is out because we tested the S. I guess maybe what I should be thinking about is what fits at the end in this scenario. Maybe that's not quite the best way to look at this. Maybe the best way to look at this is looking at what fits in the middle here. So something like an R or a T, like an IRU. And I don't see anything that works really well there with that IRU in terms of what would be at the end. What about T? ITU. Sorry. that too, I'm not seeing anything that goes really particularly well at the end. So, of course, the question becomes, what if we were really looking for an E here? And then, well, here's an interesting, okay. So immediately something comes to mind. And it gives me a chance to test that E. How about the word femur, the bone femur? We get 3 fantastic consonants in there, including the R. We find out if it's either an E or an I by testing the E here. So I think I like the possibilities here. I think I've talked myself into making that my 4th guess. Let's see if we're right on the money. Is the answer to today's puzzle the word femur? No, it's not. Ooh, and look at this. Interesting information here. So the E is out, which means we're almost certainly going to have an I, but more importantly, I think, we have the R and the M joining the party out of position. So I feel like the first thing I want to do is transpose the R and the M. R-U-M. Now, the problem here is that I don't know what to do with the I, because I don't think we could do I-R-U-M. I don't think anything makes any sense there, which is okay. I like the M at the end. I will say that. I don't think the R and the I are transposed. R-I-U-M. Doesn't really fit. Of course, I'm assuming the I. Now, of course, I'm assuming the I here, right? It is conceivable that there is no I if we have the... So let me give you an example. So this is not the answer, right? But scrum is an example of only one vowel, the U. And if we look for 2 consonants that go in front of the R-U-M, maybe that's what I'm looking for here. Or I think I'm settled on the M at the end. Let's put it this way. I'm settled at the M on the end. So if the R isn't in a 3rd spot, is there some other combination of letters that include an R that fit in the first 3? The H is kind of like an anchor letter here that would potentially be something that's interesting to me. Possibly. That R is interesting if it's not there. Now, I suppose there's always a possibility that I am wrong about the R, the M at the end, but I don't think I am. This is interesting. I'm not completely giving up either on the I. R-I-U-M. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. H-R-U-M. No, that doesn't necessarily work. I wish I had tested the I in retrospect, although we wouldn't have gotten the M and the R if I did that. I-U-M. R-I-U-M. I don't think that fits anything. That's the problem here. Interesting conundrum, to be sure. This is fascinating to me. I don't think there's any universe where the U is a double. I don't see it. The R wouldn't make sense in that scenario. Could the I be in the front? I blank blank U-M. No. Really interesting here. We're at the 5th guess, so I don't really feel comfortable just doing an eval here, that's playing it dangerous. We only have 2 guesses left. But on the other side of the coin, I feel like I want, part of me does want to do an eval though, right? Because I see myself wanting to look at the state of, TH and I with respect to this. Actually, here's the thing. Let me just think this out loud here. If I do the word pithy here, I'm taking 4 letters off the board. I only have Q, W, Z, X, V, and J left. So you either have doubles or a really weird letter. I feel like I'm guaranteeing a lot more information, but I'm only going to have 1 guess left. So extremely risky, but I feel like I have to figure this one out somehow. And there's no, again, this is almost like, look, I know we just had a failure last week, a word I didn't know. And there's always that now is something that I'm afraid of. But I think with a very risky play like this, I'm going to get the illumination that I think I need to have here. And of course, we're testing the eye in the second spot. So while I'm scared, I think I have to make this play. So we're going to do an eval word on the 5th guess of pithy. Let's hope that this pays off with knowledge I need. Pithy for eval on 5. All right, there's a T. No I. No I. Wow. So, okay. So we have all 5 letters. It's an unscramble. I think thrum is the only word here. Whoops. The T wouldn't be it. Because you need, so again, I talked about H being that anchor letter, right? The H is not going to be at the end. The R is not going to be the end. So it would be the H and the R can't be at the end. So the M or the T. If the T is at the end, you can't do anything with the M and the R. So this, by process of elimination, this is the only possible word. This is interesting. Yet again, over the past week, it has been a medley of really uncommon words. I have to be honest with you. This is crazy. This has to be the answer. But thrum in 6, yet another word that I could certainly see how it is a streak breaker for folks if they haven't had them yet this week. Let's go ahead and put it in. Is the answer to today's puzzle the word thrum? Yes, it is. Wow. Thrum on the very last guess, including a very daring evaluation there on guess number 5. It was the correct thing to do. Again, for like the 3rd or 4th time in the last 7 days, very uncommon words being thrown at us. So they're really amping up the challenge level here in Wordle these days. But I'm up for it. I hope everybody else is too. Let me know how you did in the comments. If this worked out well for you, if you did better or worse than me, we're all in this together. It's a team effort. Folks, tomorrow is Monday, and we are going to get a little weird. That's right. We're going to start with the word weird. So we'll see where that takes us in our Wordle journey. Folks, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for some more Wordle.